Hello, 9th standard CBSE children. Have a good day. Have a nice day. Today we are going to do the video session number 13. Video number 13 as chapter 13. Why do we fall ill? Question answer discussion. We are just going to discuss some questions. Based on that, you are supposed to prepare by yourself. You need to develop the concept. That is, என்ன சொல்றது? Why do we fall in chapter 13? சரியா? Now under this we have done what are all the content, as you know, the learning outcome, otherwise we are saying, yeah, the learning outcome as such. What do we have to know? What is a disease? Why do we fall ill? And what are the reasons for it? And what causes the causative agent in that causative agents adella theriyum. First we should know what is health, then what is a disease, and then what is the significance of health. We have studied health is wealth. Health is a state of well-being, and you should know health is a state of well-being as physically, emotionally, mentally, psychologically and social well-being. That's health is wealth. So this health is wealth. Now it's a state of complete physical, mental and social well-being, right? And then being healthy means one feels good physically, has positive outlook and is able to cope up with the social and mental pressures without much difficulty. I hope you could follow this. So being healthy is far more than just one being free from diseases. So அது வந்து சொல்லியிருக்கோம். அதுக்கடுத்து வந்து இந்த health and its ஃபெயிலியர்னு சொல்லியிருக்கோம். நமக்கு வந்து கொஞ்சம் டிஸ்கம்ஃபர்ட் இருந்ததுன்னா we feel we are not healthy, இல்லையா? அதுக்கடுத்தது வந்து அப்போ வந்து we feel that we have diseases. A disease regularly usually indicates malfunction in the body, and only a doctor is able to diagnose the disease by identifying the symptoms. Symptom na enna sollirukken, for disease may be physical, mental or both. That's a symptom. Sign வந்து indication of a particular disease, right? And then how this personal and community issues வந்து health affect பண்றதுங்கிறது வந்து நம்ம இந்த லெசன்ல படிச்சிருக்கோம். என்னது? as first வந்து நம்ம physically we should be fit enough or we should have comfort life அப்படின்னா we should eat balanced diet. We should keep our body clean and tidy, as personal hygiene to be maintained. சொல்றோம்ல அந்த மாதிரி we have to keep a personal hygiene. And then mentally we should not have any stress over good or bad moments, and we should not have any tension. We should have tension free practical day-to-day life to be spent. அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிறதா comfort life னு சொல்லுவோம். We will not have any disease. So we are disease free. Sometimes the environment, இப்போ வந்து மழை பெய்யுது இல்லையா, 2 நாளா மழை கொட்டுறது, but it is not comfortable for us. We are not able to do our work properly. We have some என்ன சொல்ல, வீட்டுக்குள்ளேயே அடைஞ்சு கிடக்கும் இல்லையா, அப்படியே வெளியில் போனாலும் இட் இஸ் நாட் ஹைஜீனிக். அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிறது வந்து environmental condition. Climatic changes will also affect our என்ன சொல்றது, physical comfort. அது வந்து ஒன்று சொல்றோம். அப்போ வந்து disease and its causes னு சொல்றது என்ன சொல்றது, occasionally human health gets negatively affected due to physiological malfunctioning, psychological reasons or pathogenic, that is disease causing organism. The term disease means dis-ease or without ease or discomfort. I am just recollecting the points. So disease can also be defined as impairment, that is malfunctioning of the normal state of living organisms that disturbs or modifies the performance of the vital functions. And this is maybe a response to environmental factors as malnutrition, industrial hazards, or climatic changes, specific infective agents as worms, protozoans, fungi, bacteria, and viruses, or inherent defects of the organism as genetic defects, and combination of all of these factors. அதுதான் நம்ம டிசீஸ்னு சொல்றோம். சரியா? இப்போ சில question answers பார்ப்போம். Based on this we have to learn or you have to develop your own questions. அதுக்கு தான் I repeat, textbookல மக பண்ண வேண்டாம், except the short answers and the brief answers. மீதி உனக்கு கான்செப்ட் தெரிஞ்சிருக்கணும். சரியா? விட்டுட்டு பாரு. This is worksheet நான் தரேன். question answer discussion worksheet 1 போட்டிருக்கேன், கன்ஃபியூஸ் பண்ணிக்காதே. நம்ம இந்த வீடியோவோட அசைன்மெண்ட் ஃபாலோ பண்ணுவேன். question answers கொடுப்பேன், அது அசைன்மெண்ட் கொடுத்துருப்பேன், டோன்ட் கன்ஃபியூஸ். சரியா? ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் fill in the blanks. நான் இந்த கொஸ்டின் கொடுத்துட்டு கீழே ஆன்சரும் தரேன், ஆனால் நீ உடனே ஆன்சர் பார்க்காதே. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஐடென்டிஃபை the answer, try to think of your own answers, அப்புறம் அது கரெக்டானு செக் பண்ணிக்கோ. Okay, so first one, health is a state of well-being physically, mentally and socially. The mentally க்கு பதில் you can write emotionally and physiologically. So mentally, emotionally, physiologically, இந்த மூணு ஆன்சரும் கரெக்ட். எதுக்கு? health is a state of well-being. சரியா? Second, the two important contributory causes of diseases are undernourishment and genetic makeup. Undernourishment na malnutrition or balanced diet irukadhu. Malnutrition or balanced diet சாப்பிடாது due to poverty and the vitamin and deficiency of carbohydrates, proteins வருது இல்லையா, அதுதான் malnutrition or undernourishment. அது என்ன ஞாபகம் வருது உனக்கு? components of food ல படிச்சிருக்கோம் இல்லையா, as kwashiorkor, marasmus, protein deficiency, carbohydrate and protein deficiency ல marasmus and kwashiorkor படிச்சிருக்கோம் இல்லையா, அதுதான் this two important contributory causes of diseases are undernourishment and genetic disorder or genetic makeup. Some of the children, they are deformity இருக்குன்னு சொல்லுவோம் இல்லையா, அதாவது போலியோ அட்டாக் வரலாம், ஆஃப்டர் பர்த் போலியோ அட்டாக் வரலாம், இல்லைன்னா குழந்தை பிறக்கிறதே மென்டலி ரிட்டார்டடாக இருக்கலாம், அதுதான் ஜெனட்டிக்கல் மேக்கப். I hope you understand. And infectious, the third one, infectious diseases are caused by dash. இப்போ தானே சொன்னேன், infectious diseases are caused by, இங்கே கொடுத்துருக்கிறது மைக்ரோ ஆர்கானிசம்ஸ். மைக்ரோ ஆர்கானிசத்தில் என்னெல்லாம் சொல்கிறோம்னாக்க பாக்டீரியா, ஃபஞ்சை, புரோட்டோசோவன் அண்ட் வைரஸஸ். ஆல்கே டு சம் எக்ஸ்டென்ட், பட் நான் ஆல்கே ரொம்ப இன்க்ளூட் பண்ணிக்க மாட்டேன், கொஞ்சம் வெரி ஃபியூ தான் வேணும். ஸோ பாக்டீரியா, வைரஸஸ், fungi and protozoan. These are all infectious agents. So infectious agents and diseases are caused by microorganisms. I hope you understand. Then fourth one, cholera is caused by a bacterium, Vibrio cholerae, and malaria is caused by protozoan as Plasmodium. அதில் 4 species இருக்கு. Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium falciparum, Plasmodium ovale. அதுதான் species name. Plasmodium 3 different species. அதில் Plasmodium falciparum it is highly toxic, highly fatal. இந்த malarial disease Plasmodium falciparum attack பண்ணா it is very dangerous for the person who is suffering from malaria. So now I say fourth fill up. Cholera is caused by bacterium nu sollalam, Vibrio cholerae. The example of a bacterium is Vibrio cholerae. But malaria is caused by protozoan solrom. அது வந்து malaria வந்து actually ரெண்டு host, primary host and secondary host. அந்த primary hostல வந்து என்ன சொல்றோம்னாக்க female anopheles mosquito, when it bites a person, the saliva containing the plasmodium malarial carrier வந்து female anopheles mosquito is a carrier of plasmodium pathogen. அதை வந்து ஹியூமனுக்குள்ள செலுத்துறது. அதுக்குள்ள இந்த plasmodium ovale or plasmodium falciparum or plasmodium species வந்து affect பண்றது. I hope you understand. So this fifth one, malaria is spread by female anopheles mosquito which breed in stagnant water. Actually stagnant water சொல்றத விட fresh waterல தான் mosquito breed பண்ணும். Especially the open overhead tank தண்ணி திறந்திருந்ததுன்னா it breeds on that stagnant water. தண்ணி தங்கி இருக்கிற stagnantனா தண்ணி தங்கி இருக்குல்ல அது பேரு. So malaria is spread by female anopheles mosquito which breed in stagnant water. Then sixth one, disease present from the birth are called congenital disease. The T actually silent, but சிலர் வந்து congenital னு சொல்லுவாங்க. Congenital disease. Disease present from the birth are called congenital disease. அதாவது carrying from mother to or father to the child. அது பேரு congenital disease. Then seventh one, interferons are antiviral protein. இது ஒன்று படிச்சது கிடையாது, ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கோ. antiviral protein பேரு interferon, right? So interferons are antiviral proteins. Eighth one, any organism capable of producing a disease is called pathogen or disease causing germs. Any organism capable of producing a disease is called pathogen or disease causing germs. I hope you understand. The ninth one, the organism which spread the disease from an infected person to a healthy person is called a vector or a carrier. The organism which spread the disease from an infected person to a healthy person is called a vector or a carrier. நான் சிலருக்கு வந்து double answer சொல்றேன், possible answers அதுவும் correct. Okay, so a vector or a carrier. Then 10th one, the virus that causes acquired immune deficiency syndrome, AIDS disease. Parasitosis helper T cells. என்னதுனாக்க person suffering from AIDS and the HIV virus இருக்குல்ல, it is introduced through, it is a sexually transmitted disease. So it enters the blood. Components of blood என்னது RBC, WBC and platelets சொல்லும்ல. அந்த WBCல we have studied as lymphocytes and monocytes இருக்கு. அதில் அந்த lymphocytes attack பண்ணும். அதுதான் T helper cells னு சொல்லுவாங்க. அந்த T helper cells என்ன சொல்றோம்னா, again lymphocytesல there are two type. One is T lymphocyte, அதாவது thymusலேருந்தே ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கோம், அது வந்து T lymphocytes. Thymus gland is an endocrine gland which is a transitory gland which is present only at the time of childbirth. அப்போவே இந்த WBC antibodies ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணும் இல்லையா, அதுதான் thymus producing cells, T lymphocytes. சரியா? So இதில் question number 10, the virus that causes acquired immune deficiency syndrome, parasitosis, the helper T cells. T cells in a thymus lymphocytes in the WBC. Okay, then question number 11, dash vaccine gives considerable protection against tuberculosis. Dash vaccine gives considerable protection against tuberculosis, that is BCG, Bacillus calamite and guarin. BCG. Then HIV stands for human immunodeficiency virus. HIV stands for human immunodeficiency virus. Okay. Then 13, diseases are of two kinds, congenital and acquired. Congenital by birth. From the birth, when the disease is there, it is said to be congenital, and the disease which is obtained after birth, that acquired after birth, it is called acquired diseases. அதே மாதிரி தான் இம்யூனிட்டியும் நேச்சுரல் இம்யூனிட்டி அண்ட் அக்வயர்டு இம்யூனிட்டி சொல்லுவோம். சரியா? அடுத்தது 14, ability of an organism to resist a disease is called immunity. The capacity, இந்த நோய் எதிர்ப்பு சக்தின்னு சொல்றோம் இல்லையா, அதுதான் என்ன சொல்றது, the ability of an organism to resist disease is called immunity. நோய் எதிர்ப்பு சக்தி. Then WHO stands for World Health Organization. WHO stands for World Health Organization. And rabies is also called hydrophobia. Rabies is a viral disease which is a disease bitten by a dog. When a dog, rabies carrying virus carrying the rabies disease, when a dog bites a person is suffering from rabies, and main symptom வந்து hydrophobia. Hydrophobia na fear of water. சரியா? So rabies is also called hydrophobia. Then BCG stands for Bacillus calamite guarin. Spelling பார்த்துக்கோ, Bacillus calamite guarin. Okay, see the spelling again, Bacillus calamite guarin. I hope you understand. Yeah? So this is fill in the blanks. ஒரு example தான் கொடுத்திருக்கேன். இந்த மாதிரி நிறைய வரும். So whenever I give the question, first you think of the answer and then refer to the என்ன சொல்றது, answers. Then refer to the answers given. I hope you understand. Shall I go to next? ஒரு second go through பண்ண, ஒரு second go through. Next one. Give two examples of each of the following: acute disease, chronic disease, infectious disease, non-infectious diseases. என்ன சொல்றது? Acute disease na a disease which is caused suddenly and severely, that is acute disease. இப்போ வந்து டயரியா சொல்லுவோம்ல, லூஸ் மோஷன், அது வந்து சொல்லிட்டு வராது, திடீர்னு தான் வரும் இல்லையா? ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி நிறைய அடிக்கடி போயிட்டே இருக்கோம்னா that is acute diarrhea, and it is one of the symptom for cholera. காலராக்கு வந்து ஆக்சுவலாக காலரா இஸ் அ வாட்டர்பார்ன் டிசீஸ். அதில் வந்து நம்ம கண்டாமினேட்டட் ட்ரிங்கிங் வாட்டரை குடித்தோம்னா பாசிபிலிட்டி, அப்போ வந்து லூஸ் மோஷன் தான் ஃபஸ்ட்டு சிம்டம். சரியா? ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி சடன்னாக வர்றது பட் சிவியராக இருக்கும், தட் இஸ் அக்யூட் டிசீஸ். க்ரானிக் டிசீஸ்னால் ரொம்ப நாளாக இருந்துட்டு இருக்கும். டிப்பிக்கல் எக்ஸாம்பிள் டியூபர்குலோசிஸ். காஃப் அண்ட் நிறைய இருந்துகிட்டே இருக்கும், காஃப் அண்ட் ப்ரீடிங் ப்ராப்ளம் இருந்துகிட்டே இருக்கும். டயபெட்டிக் வந்து இருந்துகிட்டே இருக்கும், உடனே போகாது, அது வந்துட்டே இருக்கும், அடிக்கடி வரும், அது வந்து chronic diseases. Infectious diseases na it is communicable diseases which are spread through direct or indirect contact or any article used by the infected person directly or indirectly, that causes communicable diseases. That causes diseases that are called communicable diseases. Okay, whereas non-infectious diseases, which are congenital disease, otherwise which are present, congenital diseases which are occur due to malfunctioning of the physiological activity of a human person. That is non-infectious disease. I hope you understand. Now examples were acute disease typhoid, malaria, influenza. Acute disease typhoid caused by Salmonella typhi, malaria caused by Plasmodium species. Malaria ரெண்டு host, ஒன்று primary host mosquito, secondary host man to complete its life cycle. சரியா? Third one influenza, it is a type of viral disease. So acute typhoid, bacterial disease, malaria, protozoan disease, and influenza, viral disease. I hope you understand. Then chronic disease, tuberculosis and elephantiasis. Tuberculosis and elephantiasis. Tuberculosis again bacterial disease, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, and elephantiasis is caused by filarial worm, Vaucheria Frankfurt, spelling Vaucheria species. So chronic disease elephantiasis na யானைக்கால் சொல்லுவோம்ல, கால் அப்படியே குண்டா யானைக்கால் மாதிரி அசிங்கமா புண்ணா கொப்பளமா இருக்கும், அதுதான் elephantiasis. சரியா? So chronic disease example tuberculosis and elephantiasis. And tuberculosis, as I said, it is a bacterial disease. Elephantiasis, it is a worm, insects, worms and insects, அதுதான் elephantiasis. Infectious diseases again typhoid, chickenpox. Typhoid இப்ப என்ன சொன்னேன்? Salmonella typhi, bacterial disease. And chickenpox, it is a pox virus, viral disease. It is a pox virus. And non-infectious disease, diabetes and goiter. Diabetes na controlling blood sugar level. Normally, a person should have blood sugar level 120 below. If a person is having prolonged sugar level of above 120, then person is suffering from diabetes. Blood sugar na another. Normally, the carbohydrates are digested first in the mouth, salivary mouth, buccal cavity itself by the salivary gland secreting the enzyme saliva, which contains the salivary enzyme ptyalin, starch amylase ptyalin, that digests the carbohydrates. சரியா? அங்கேயே digestion ஆயிரும். And then அப்படி ஒன்று ரெண்டு விட்டுருந்ததுன்னா intestine ஆகும். And that digested carbohydrate is reaching the liver through the action of pancreatic islets of cells, insulin through the liver, where it is converted into glycogen, and the glycogen further broken into fatty acids and glycerol. If that conversion of this carbohydrate into simple substances, when it is not converted into glycogen, then the sugar level will be increasing. So that is diabetes. Goiter it is a iodine deficiency, where person suffering from thyroxine, thyroid gland, endocrine gland, thyroid gland, when a person is suffering from insufficient secretion of thyroxine from the thyroid gland, which is an endocrine gland, then person is suffering from goiter. The கழுத்து வீங்கிட்டு இருக்கும், அதுதான் goiter. I hope you understand. Then, so acute disease example typhoid, malaria, influenza. Chronic disease example tuberculosis, elephantiasis. infectious diseases, typhoid, chickenpox. Non-infectious வந்து diabetes and goiter. And name 2 diseases caused by protozoan. What are their causal organism? இது நீ first இது நீ படிச்சது கிடையாது. As sleeping sickness caused by trypanosoma gambians. Sleeping sickness caused by trypanosoma gambians. And malaria plasmodium vivax. Spelling படிச்சுக்கோ. இந்த மாதிரி questions வந்து நான் கண்டிப்பா கேட்பேன். So, sleeping sickness, trypanosoma gambians, malaria is caused by plasmodium vivax. I hope you understand. Then fourth question, which bacterium causes peptic ulcer? Who discovered the pathogen for the first time? இது நீ படிச்சது கிடையாது. A bacterium causing peptic ulcer is called Helicobacter pylori. என்னது இது? Actually, stomach is formed of என்ன சொல்லுது? Stomach layer சொல்லுவோம்ல. That stomach layer is secreting ஒரு நிமிஷம். The stomach layer தலை கடிக்கிறதுடா வேற ஒன்றும் இல்லை. That stomach layer is formed of layers of என்ன சொல்றது? Secreting the secretion as gastric juice which contain HCl, pepsin and renal. So now this இது வந்து secretion when it is getting burnt, when the layers are getting burnt, person is suffering from ulcer. சரியா? ஆக்சுவலாக இந்த ஸ்டமக் வந்து மேலே இப்படி வந்து இப்படி வளைஞ்சி வரும் இல்லையா? ஸோ மேலே அந்த ஹார்ட் கிட்ட இருக்கிறதுனால இட் இஸ் கால்டு cardiac stomach and lower end is called pyloric stomach. Lower end is called pyloric stomach. So அந்த region வந்து actually it affect பண்றது. And the center குண்டு portion of the stomach பேரு fundus or body of the stomach. So the bacterium Helicobacter pylori is causing peptic ulcer and it is discovered by Warren in the year 1984 and Marshall and Warren confirmed in the year 1985. Recent தான் பார்த்திருக்கோம். சரியா? So this is for peptic ulcer. Okay. Then fifth question. What are antibiotics? என்ன சொல்லணும்? Antibiotic is a chemical produced by microorganism, example bacteria or fungi, which kills or block the growth of other microorganisms, that is pathogen, by blocking their life process without affecting human cells. Good example, description is it. Antibiotic is a biochemical produced by microbes, bacteria or fungi, which kills or block the growth of other microbe, that is pathogens, by blocking their life process without harming human cells. Example, penicillin and streptomycin. இன்னொரு எக்ஸாம்பிள், மலேரியாவுக்கு வந்து சைக்ளோஸ்போரின் ஒரு மலேரியல் ட்ரக் உண்டு. அதை கொடுத்தோம்னா பர்சன் சஃபரிங் ஃப்ரம் மலேரியா, நார்மலாக வந்து உடனே அது மலேரியான்னு தெரியாது. அ பர்சன் வில் பி சஃபரிங் ஃப்ரம் ஃபீவர், ஸ்பெஷலி இன் த ஈவினிங் வித் த சில்னஸ் அண்ட் ஷிவரிங். மலேரியா வருதுன்னா குளிரும் ஷிவரிங்கும் இருக்கும், ஃபீவர் இருக்கும். அப்படி சே ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் இந்த வீக் வந்து நமக்கு இந்த மலேரியா ஃபீவர் அப்படின்னா திஸ் வீக் ஃபார் 2 days இருந்ததுன்னா நெக்ஸ்ட் வீக்கு சேம் 2 daysல person will be suffering with the chillness, shivering and fever. Like that 3 consecutive weekல இந்த fever அடிக்கடி வரும். அந்த மாதிரி இருந்தா person should test for malaria. ஏன்னாக்க this malaria plasmodium, it will develop the stages, it will reproduce sexually and asexually within the human blood. Appo during these stages of development, it produces a poisonous substance called hemozoin that will increase the temperature of the person who is suffering from fever. So அது தடுக்கிறதுக்கு the stages of development of this pathogenic plasmodium தடுக்கிறதுக்கு cyclosporinங்கிற மலேரியல் ட்ரக் கொடுப்பா. அதுதான் இதை சொல்றது. இட்ஸ் an antibiotic biochemical produced by microorganism which kills or block the growth of other organism. இது வந்து it will stop the growth of other organism, microbes. Okay, இங்கே எக்ஸாம்பிள் கொடுத்துருக்கிறது வந்து penicillin and streptomycin. I hope you understand. The next, fill in the blanks. This is question. What are antibiotics? Fill in the blank. Pneumonia is an example of infectious disease, communicable disease. Pneumonia referring to breathing problem. And breathing jasthi, fever and breathing varudhuna adu peru pneumonia, right? So pneumonia is an example of infectious disease or communicable disease. What are communicable disease? A disease which are transmitted by a person, by an infected person directly or indirectly, or by the article used by them. They are called communicable diseases. Then many skin diseases are caused by fungi. The padai, chori, charangai lam சொன்னோம்ல, they are caused, those skin diseases are caused by fungi. Okay, then antibiotics commonly block biochemical pathway important for the growth of bacteria. இதுல வந்து bacteria சொல்லுது, but any pathogen. Normally bacteria சொல்லுவோம், but other pathogen except virus. Okay, then living organisms carrying the infecting agents from one person to another, they are called vectors. Vectors are carriers. I hope you understand this. So these four fill up. Just ஒரு second go through பண்ணிக்கோ. Time தரேன். ஒரு second go through பண்ணு. Example. First answer, infectious or communicable disease. Second வந்து fungi. Third, bacteria. Fourth, vectors. I hope you understand. The next one, it is name the target organs of the following diseases. Hepatitis, fit or unconscious targets, pneumonia, fungal disease. Hepatitis வந்து it is affecting the liver. Target organ na the organ which is getting affected, other target organ. So hepatitis, it is liver. Fit or unconsciousness, it is affecting the brain and nervous system. And pneumonia, it is affecting the lungs. Targets the lungs. And fungal disease affects the skin. Normally, skin diseases are targeted by the fungal attack. Okay, so hepatitis targets liver, fit or unconsciousness, brain, pneumonia, lungs, fungal disease, skin. Okay, the next one, name any two group of microbe which antibiotics can be extracted. Answer வந்து bacteria and fungi. Then again fill up. Dash disease continues for many days and causes dash on the body. என்ன சொல்றது? Chronic diseases continues for many days and causes long-term effect on the body. I repeat. Dash disease continues for many days and causes long-term effect on the body. Then acute disease continues for a few days and causes no long-term effect on body. இது acute disease. Acute disease என்ன சொன்னேன்? Sudden வர்றது. No long-term effect on body. Then dash is defined as physical, mental and social well-being. என்னது? Dash health. Health is defined as physical, mental and social well-being. Then common cold is a viral disease. Infectious, communicable or viral diseases. and many skin diseases are caused by fungi. I hope you understand. Many skin diseases are caused by fungi. Okay. So now classify the following as infectious and non-infectious agent. Infectious and AIDS, tuberculosis and cholera. AIDS, tuberculosis and cholera. These are all infectious diseases. High BP, heart disease, pneumonia and cancer. They are non-infectious diseases. I repeat. AIDS, tuberculosis, cholera. They are infectious diseases, and high BP, heart disease, pneumonia and cancer are non-infectious diseases. So go through pannu 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. ஒரு செகண்ட் தரேன் go through பண்ணு. Just a few seconds go through பண்ணு. 11th வந்து infectiousனாலே communicable disease ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கோ. Non-infectiousனா non-communicable disease. Okay. Acute na sudden onset. Chronic na prolonged time க்கு வர்றது. That you have to remember. சரியா? So go through பண்ணிட்டியா? Any microorganism antibiotics could be extracted and the bacteria and fungi. Viral முடியாது. Viral will not have any antibiotic agent. Virus is not having any definite size and shape. Sorry, virus is a living entity only inside the living host. அதனால அது வந்து work பண்ணாது. Okay. The next one, it is as என்ன சொல்றது? It was diagnosed by Preeti, suffers from Japanese encephalitis. Preeti suffers from Japanese encephalitis. Upon which organ will be affected? Then how are antibiotics effective in treatment of some diseases, and will they help in curing Preeti's disease? என்ன சொல்றது? Organ affected in Japanese encephalitis na brain. Cephalona referring to brain. சரியா? And then antibiotic, they block biochemical pathway of bacteria such as synthesis of cell wall and proteins. Therefore, bacteria die due to antibiotic action. Okay. Then antibiotic effect on Japanese encephalitis na onnum kediyadhu. Enna it is a viral disease. Japanese encephalitis is a viral disease where antibiotics are effective against bacteria. Viral has no antibiotic effect, whereas bacteria will have antibiotic effect. Okay. Then you should know about the immunization. What is it? Immunization is the development of disease against a pathogen. It is carried out through vaccination. I hope you understand. So immunization is the development of resistance against a pathogen. It is carried out through vaccination. Right? And then immunization, அதோட பிரின்சிபிள் என்னது? என்ன பிரின்சிபிள் என்ன சொல்றதுனாக்க, it is vaccination introduces a harmless antigen of a pathogen into the body, and our immune system develops some antibodies and memory lymphocytes against the pathogen. When actual pathogen happens to enter the body, immune system recognizes its antigen through memory cells. The memory cells induce large-scale synthesis of cytotoxic and antibody-producing lymphocytes to eliminate the pathogen. இது வந்து நான் உனக்கு சொல்லியிருக்கேன், antigen and antibody. என்னது? Any foreign germ, when it enters the body, that is called antigen. So when this antigen enters into the body, our WBC will immediately produce a substance called antibody. So this antibody will fight against the antigen. சரியா? For example, a person suffering from chickenpox வச்சுக்கோ. Person suffering from chickenpox நாக்க person suffering from chicken pox அப்படின்னு சொல்லும்போது the antigen வந்து viral இது pox virus. So it is producing antibody to kill the virus. And at the same time, the person suffering from chicken pox now will not be affected later again. ஏன்னாக்க suppose the second time if a person is suffering, it will not affect because the antibody in the blood cells will know in the virus already வந்திருக்கு, we have to kill them அப்படின்னு அதுக்கு already தெரியும். So that person will not suffer from this chicken pox. அதுதான் antibody-யோட principle. So அந்த மாதிரி அதை வந்து vaccination பண்ணினோம்னாக்க that is immunization. Okay, so immunization is the development of resistance against a pathogen. It is carried out through vaccination. And principle வந்து vaccination introduces a harmless antigen of a pathogen into the body. Our immune system develops some antibodies and memory lymphocytes against the pathogen. So when the actual pathogen happens to enter the body, the immune system recognizes its antigen through this memory cell. Memory cells are lymphocytes in the WBC. And the memory cell induce the large scale synthesis of cytotoxic and antibody producing lymphocytes to eliminate the pathogen. Example, polio and diphtheria. I hope you understand. So with this we complete this video number 13. We have just discussed some question answers. I hope you understand. So we will continue in the next video session with the next part of the lesson. I hope you understand. இதுவும் அதே தான் ரிப்பீட் ஆயிருக்கு, ஜஸ்ட் பார்த்துக்கோ. வீடியோ நம்பர் 6 அதே தான் ரிப்பீட் ஆயிருக்கு. என்னெல்லாம் அந்த கொஷின் நம்பர் 12 13 சேம் ரிப்பீட்டு, ஜஸ்ட் பார்த்துக்கோ. I hope you understand. So we will continue in the next video session. Go through பண்ண ஒரு நிமிஷம், or a few seconds go through பண்ணிக்க. So we will continue in the next video session. Thank you.